Welcome to Impact on the Ground with Tiia. I'm the CEO of a tech for good company and passionate about making a difference. This podcast series will dig deeper into what it means to make an impactful change in our society. And this series is for individuals who are interested in the topic, charities, social enterprises, companies, grant makers, and government body representatives. It is all about collaboration, and we are here to talk about how this works in practice. We focus on the dynamics between those who have resources to give and those who are working to tackle the challenges in our society on the ground. Today, I have a guest, Miisa Mink, who is a founder and CEO of DrivenWoman network. And DrivenWoman is a very special concept, a social impact company that helps women to gain confidence, to express their desires and reach for their goals and dreams, whether they are related to work environment or their personal life. Welcome, Miisa.
Thank you.
Tell a little bit more specifically what is that your company do and what is the service offering?
Oh, thank you, Tiia. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. DrivenWoman is an empowerment platform, a social empowerment platform, which means we offer bite-sized personal development modules, so both online and in small groups, where women can discover, firstly, what it is that their heart desires, what are those dreams, and what are the real sort of meaningful goals that they want to go after, and then put those ideas into action. So it's bite-sized personal development, so short videos, interesting short exercises that really put you on a spot, and you have to think for yourself, like, right, what does it mean for me to step outside my comfort zone, for instance, or not be pushed back by other people's ideas. How do I really stay on my track? And every module ends with 5 steps that they are going to put into action. And then, because it's a platform with other women, it's a global platform where you can meet other women who are ambitious and they want to make their dreams and their goals reality. You are held accountable, you are supported, and we also have real top coaches. We do live webinars on these topics, and we take women. You have a chance to be on hot seat with some of really leading coaches in the world that you probably wouldn't have access otherwise. And we also run this same module, this same concept in small groups. And we also offer a program to companies. So it is a subscription to personal development, making this kind of personal growth accessible to all women, because as we know, life coaching and career coaching, success coaching can be very expensive. So we made it affordable and accessible to everybody.
Yeah, I really love the concept and the peer-to-peer support factor. I guess many people think that they are alone with their struggles or something, and then you suddenly realize that, oh my goodness, everybody has pretty much the same challenges, and probably also some solutions might be the same. So
exactly.
What is your impact goal as a whole? What is the impact you want to make in this society?
We want to reach 1 million women, to help them to gain the courage that they will go after their dreams and after their goals. Because so what we see as the big problem right now with women is, even if we come across as confident and ambitious, very often there's a nagging feeling. There's a feeling that something is not quite right. And a lot of people are not actually going after their own genuine goals. They are not pursuing something that feels super meaningful for them. And that creates a lot of anxiety, confusion, procrastination. A lot of women feel that they are in crossroads. They're like, right, I ended up here, but this isn't my life. Something's missing. So our impact goal is really to help women to come out of that crossroads, really thriving, knowing that they are on their own meaningful path, so that they can find their voice, they can start really showing up fully, and that they can, whether in a corporate career, whether at home, whether as an entrepreneur, that they start doing what they really want to do. And for women, making an impact and having a deeper purpose, not just making money, is super important. We've seen this now. I mean, we have thousands of women globally in our network. We've been on this journey for over 7 years. I have personally heard, face-to-face heard, not just read, somewhere, or been I've done big events and there's been, hundreds of women, but I've been in the same room with over 1,000 women. I've heard their personal stories and their struggles, and it's all about this shift.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I really want? How do I really want to show up? I want to make a positive impact. It's not enough for me just to go to the office and take care of my kids, just to, make money and pay the bills. That's not enough. I want something more. What is it? So that's what we help women do.
So you've been talking about the feminine way. Is this
Yes.
the same thing, what you're saying, that there is some kind of a feminine way of thinking and kind of living your life? What does it mean?
So as we all know, the whole world, the society, organizations, businesses, relationships, any sort of structures that humans have created have been based on the masculine. So everybody, every individual, every human being carries both masculine and feminine qualities, values, principles inside of them. So this is not about men or women. It's about the values we live by. And the feminine values have not been appreciated. So the world has been built on the masculine. So if you think about linear, hierarchical, very much like a action orientated, go and conquer, be logical, go fast, bigger, stronger, better, assertive, strong. And these have been very, very good values, and they've served the humanity. I mean, we wouldn't have built these legal structures and, the civilization as we know it, unless we had that desire to do it in that way. But now we've come to a point where that alone is not going to take us further. It's like what got you here won't get you there. So, and as we know, we've gone overboard, with, the way we treat our planet and things like that. We can't forever just think that we can just take and go faster and bigger and all of that. So it has become the time to really appreciate the feminine values, which are, so instead of linear progress, it's very much about circular, it's collaborative, it's co-creative. Instead of assertive, it's very much about empathy, it's about working with each other, it's about truth rather than logic. So intuitively knowing what is right. So it's this shift that we're experiencing. And because the feminine values have not been appreciated, that's why women feel confused. They feel out of place. They feel stressed. They feel like something is wrong, but I don't know what it is. And it's been because we've been chasing these very masculine values and we haven't been true to ourselves. So that is the shift that we're experiencing.
To me, this is very much kind of linked to, what I'm driving, the sustainability, this kind of social responsibility, because, all these collaborations, what we are enhancing in my company between, companies and then, beneficiary organizations who work on the ground, that's pretty much what it is: collaboration, co-innovation, co-creation, helping each other, but also gaining both social and economic success on both sides, which is possible.
Absolutely.
How do you link this to corporate social responsibility?
So first of all, I think it's really, really important to understand that the feminine is linked to life. Feminine is linked to nature. Feminine is linked to creating life and organically growing. And again, please remember, feminine, both men and women have the feminine in them. So in different proportions. It's not about women.
So men leaders can lead with feminine way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of them do that very successfully. So if you think about the feminine, it's all about creation and flourishing and creating abundance. So if you look out of the window and you look at nature, that's all that is, that birth that happens every day. So there, it is not in conflict at all with economic prosperity. It's not in conflict at all in building socially sustainable and environmentally sustainable businesses that bring abundance and wealth to everybody who's involved. But it's just done in a different way. It's not done in a linear, how can I maximize just my benefits? But it's looking at every stakeholder in that. So that's the difference. So we must always remember that it is not in conflict with prosperity. It is just a completely different way of creating prosperity, much more sustainable way, and it is not concentrated on an individual's success, but the success of many.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And I guess I want to pick that point, what you said before, that a lot of women don't see purpose on their, let's say, company or corporate work. They go to work, and but they then start to look for something more meaningful. How do you think that companies can create a meaningful work environment to keep their talents, female talents, on board and acquire new ones if they would collaborate with social impact organizations, charities, social enterprises and stuff? How could that work in terms of giving aspiration to women?
So firstly, let's look at some statistics. So now, of course, COVID is kind of like making this even more visible. So according to one study that was just published, Forbes, 2 months ago, in September 2020, 61% of professional women are looking to pivot their career post-pandemic. So I think that is a lot. It's a huge number, and I can see this with our clients. So they have big companies have a real problem with the middle layer of women. So women come into their careers all very excited, wanting to make a difference, and they maybe believe, what the companies say in their social responsibility reports and stuff, like, yeah, I will have a chance to do this. But by the time they get to sort of middle management, their ambition levels have dropped. They believe in making a difference have dropped. Again, there's research backing this up, and women leave in the middle level of their career. Of course, there's a lot of reasons for that. Some people say, okay, I can't combine starting a family and having a career. But there is more to this than that. There's definitely, women are looking for greater purpose than just paying their bills. They need to see that what they put their effort in really benefits a greater group of people. They want to see this kind of impact they are having in the world. And this is the feminine in action, because the feminine wants to sustain life. The feminine wants to make, everybody happy, right? Yeah. So if it's just about, meeting this month's sales targets, a lot of women suffer in that environment. And so we've seen this with some of our clients. Women are, especially now during pandemic, when it has been very much just about the sales targets, like a lot of companies, of course, it's, everything has been stopped and it's just like, boom, 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 you got to reach this. So one of our clients, they experienced actually a quite difficult summer because a lot of women, they weren't engaging with that. And I'd like to tell a case study of one of our members, because I think this really highlights the point. So she had, she was in the tech space. She had dropped out, or science and research space. She had dropped out after having her second child. And she wanted to go back to work, but she thought, this is exactly what she said. She said, I don't want to leave my children for anything average. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be, impactful. It really has to give me more than just money. So she came to DrivenWoman to discover her purpose and discover what that meaning would be for her. And she's now a very successful researcher in Switzerland. She's leading the women in AI in Switzerland. So she found her like a greater purpose in building this community for women in AI and so forth. So that is really the key, I think, for companies. If they want to keep their female talent, if they want to nurture their female talent, is to give them the confidence that, yes, it is important that they are connected to their purpose and they are doing something meaningful, and they can engage with the work that the company is doing with maybe with charities or organizations that give that meaning. If the company in itself doesn't have a social purpose, I mean, if you are a telecoms company, I don't know how you turn that into a social purpose. Maybe you do, but it needs to. Also, I believe that it has to be ingrained into the culture of the company. So it can't be just stickers slapped on and every year we put, X amount of money to these people's account. That's not going to be good enough. Women will sniff it out. They want to be involved with their heart and their soul. It's not just about providing. For the masculine, it's very much about providing, right? So
it is very true, and it's kind of in all humans, this kind of helper's high kind of feeling, that when you actually get that, you kind of get involved and you can see the difference or kind of sense the difference what you are making or your corporate was making, and you were somehow part of it, not just sending a check or something. It gives you such a great feeling that it's more powerful than heroin. It's been discovered in scientific research that it's more powerful. So the more you kind of get those helpers high feelings, the more you get also addicted to it. So, and then you start seeking for activities that gives you that purpose. So it actually escalates the good, because people want to do more of that, just to get that feeling. And it's in us as humans. And that's, I think, a company should really kind of start thinking about it, how they build, like you said, that the CSR activities as strategic, like living life in the organization, and people could actually kind of take part. And it doesn't always need to be volunteering even, that's the only way that you actually do, but it's communication, engagement, being involved in the planning, being involved. Also these collaboration models, which might even create, product innovation or service innovations. Like even in this COVID time, I mean, if you think about it, the world is now open for so many innovations because it has changed. If you think about how you're going to be, all these charities who are collaborating with tens of millions of people all the time, whether it's mental health or sports or whatever, how do you suddenly make everything digitized, and sustainable for the future, because the future will never be the same than the past. So there are companies, even the telecom companies could actually do a lot of product innovations around these, and collaborate with charities, of course, give them money, get access to their world. They can co-create, they can give skills, they can volunteer, but at the same time, they can really kind of learn about the beneficiaries of that organization and kind of get professional feedback, what could then work in technology-wise, for instance, and so on. So there are opportunities, I think, for every single industry if you just start thinking about deeper and maybe using this feminine way of this spiral thing, given freedom to create and stuff, and don't expect instant like profit making, that something has to come indoor in 1 month time, because no innovation does that. There is an R&D kind of period, and it takes time, but it might be very lucrative also economically, not to mention that then you have products that actually have really big meaning in people's lives. So I mean, I'm just very keen spokesman for this kind of shared value partnerships. And I think this is exactly the same thing what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you touched on a very important point there. So you can't control, you can set a framework for innovation, but you cannot control the feminine energy. And that's why it is very difficult concept for many companies, which have been based on that everything has been built based on control, whereas we are moving towards trust. So when you move to that other side, when the shift happens, and when you start embracing the feminine energy, again, in men and women, this is not about women. I have to remind everybody all the time, because it can go so wrong quickly. It's about trust. And then you create spaces and you trust that, because there's such a great mission, and there's such a great purpose that that will bring out the innovation. Of course, there will be structures and processes, but it's the trust. It's almost like a glue between humans that creates the ecosystem and the network, as opposed to control. And I see this very much, that, for instance, with as the way companies are trying to solve gender equality at the moment. All the lots of the D&I programs are based on control. It's about policy. And yes, you have to put the frameworks in place. But after that comes trust. If trust doesn't come, you will never get there. And that applies to the whole innovation, social responsibility. So it has to be built on trust. And in order to do that, you have to release some of that feminine energy in everybody in the organization.
So you've been working with some charity yourself, supporting an organization. I know you're a startup entrepreneur, so not the big company who can pour in money in millions, but we also talk about a lot in my company about everybody, any size and type of company, whether it's a startup, whatever you are, social enterprise, everybody has something to give. So what have you been giving, and why did you pick the organization you chose?
So I've been working with Hera, so H-E-R-A, that stands for, basically they empower women who've been trafficked, and they educate them to become entrepreneurs. And they've been collaborating with Imperial College of London, and I've been there giving seminars, but also I've been a mentor to a trafficked woman, and helping her to establish her new life with the new entrepreneurial skills that she has learned in the program. So Hera provides this program for these very underprivileged women who come from very, very difficult situations, and teaches them new skills so that they can build a new life, and helps them to also with the legal process to get all the permits that they need to live in this country legally, and so on. So it's been very, very rewarding, both personally and professionally. So that's been my sort of, I think it links very much with my personal purpose. So
yeah, sounds great. That was amazing. And one question comes to me from that obviously you are not any social worker or something. So how kind of did you have any doubts or kind of fears and kind of thought that, how could I be this kind of a mentor? How were you prepared, or is your mentoring purely in business? So they are getting some other counseling maybe elsewhere?
So Hera prepares the mentors really well. So there's a training program before you take on your mentee.
Yeah.
And they have the actual mental health counseling. Yes, they have that separately.
Yeah.
Your purpose is to be kind of a business contact, like somebody they can ask questions. You meet your mentee once a month. We used to meet at Blackheath in the park or Greenwich Park, go for a walk. Of course, you get involved with more than just what she's trying to do, and you listen to the stories, and you are there for her, basically. And I think people way too often, they worry way too much on do I have the qualifications? Do I, what if some, like there's like all of these million questions. If you are present in any moment, in the moment you are with a person, you will know exactly what to do and what to say. We're just too afraid to be present with ourselves or with vulnerable human beings. So my advice would be that it helps you as much as it helps the other person if you get a chance to mentor somebody who is in a more vulnerable position. So I do recommend it.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to always also distinguish the fact that if you are even using like your time as a corporate volunteer, company's paying and you're using the days and doing, you are still a volunteer. You are not like delivering some service kind of guaranteed by the company. And we've been having some clients who are very kind of fearful, or what kind of disclaimer should we make? Should they sign a paper or something that this is not our company service? Because the company might be giving advice as a service, but if they give the same advice as a volunteer, it's of course just conducted by that one person, and nobody's checking kind of the quality or result, or can't be guaranteeing what happens next. And I've been also saying that, first of all, I wish there would be no such fear, because it's a very, I would say, really rare problem that any beneficiary or charity would be thinking that the company is actually providing a service if it's just a corporate volunteer doing something. But if it's then required, okay, let's sign a simple paper and say that everybody understands that this is volunteering. So I would hope that, like you said, that this, even company volunteers, whoever is volunteering and taking part or formulating these collaboration models, the hierarchy and this security and all these kind of structures, again, the masculine energy shouldn't be like overwhelming, because then it starts to destroy, the
whole point
work that, kind of what you would be doing. So there has to be some kind of balance and kind of the trust again between organizations, between humans, and just being present there as humans, so let's not make things too complicated, I would say.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, Miisa. This is so inspiring. I'm like, ooh, here, and I hope many charity, social enterprise, corporate, groundmaker organizations were listening to this, because there are a lot of learnings, I think, that could be taken into everybody's life, personal life, but also in their jobs in different organizations. So thank you, everybody, listening to Impact on the Ground with Tiia. And if you have any questions, just go to whatimpact.com and contact us. And we have also other podcasts there, and we have loads of blog posts regarding all kind of social value collaboration. So everybody will find something for them. And I wish you Merry Christmas, Miisa. I mean, if people want to contact you, how would they get in touch?
I'm very easy to find personally on all the socials, so Miisa Mink. And DrivenWoman is very also easy to find. So DrivenWoman is the handle, is the website. So please get in touch.
I just checked it yesterday. It's just like DrivenWoman, and it's the first Google search. So you've done very well with SEO.
You.
Okay. Well, thank you, Miisa, very much. And till the next time.